Okay, we'll start the St. Thomas portion of our press conference. Coach, opening comments from you, and then we take a few questions. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that they were literally as good as I thought they were defensively. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen defensively. I was hoping that we would find some more ways to get easier baskets, try to find ourselves around the rim a little bit more. But they're a special defensive team. There's no doubt about that. I couldn't be more proud of our guys and everything that we've accomplished in this season. I think they've done an incredible job representing the university, representing the SCAC, and representing their families. I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity to be here.
Coach, you feel like this step to this location and this advancement in the bracket is just nothing but better days ahead for the program?
You hope. You hope,
yes.
Right? That's
Coach, I felt like I tuned into games of your team midway through the second half, probably 5 or 6 times this year, where it was like, you guys are up by 4, and and then you guys are pulling away at the end. It seemed like tonight was pretty similar to that, except that obviously it didn't quite turn out in your favor at the end. How did the experience of having all of those tight games against, especially teams in your conference, help you guys today?
I think it helped a ton. Typically, it was a little bit of the inverse, right? Like we make that push up 2, up 4. We found ourselves down 9, I think, at one point in the second half. I felt like we had a run left in us. I was hoping I was right. But we were just trying to keep it as close as we could, knowing that we probably had one more push left. So every time Toa would make a shot, it was like, man, we got to keep that gap as tight as we possibly can, and for when we get that little bit of a push down the stretch. And honestly, some of the shot making he had maybe around the 7 or 8 minute mark, I'm not exactly sure, but like he probably made 2 or 3, and it was like making the gap a little bit too big for us to close and making the game a little harder for us. But I think we still gave ourselves a chance. We were down 1 with that possession to get worse. We get a stop there. No telling what happens.
Yeah, you came back from 50 to 38 was what the largest deficit. So.
Maybe for the student athletes, sorry, when Coach talks about fueling about those runs, what fuels those runs in the second half for you guys?
The team. We're our own source of energy. So that being said, we tell each other, okay, let's go. It's time to go. It's getting a little bit too big. Okay, let's go. So yeah, the team.
Reese, early on, obviously nobody's making shots at the beginning of that game, but they really hit the boards hard. After that first 5 minutes or so, it was pretty even. Was it just a little bit of adjustment to their physicality that it took to kind of get into that?
I wouldn't say it was an adjustment. We knew coming in how physical they was going to be. So, end of the day, we just wasn't making shots. I know early in the game, they had about 10-minute mark. They only had about 12 points, but we only had about 7. So I just felt like we just needed to make more shots. It was just a defensive battle. We knew how physical it was going to be. So.
Sometimes teams get to this level and you're playing in a much, much bigger arena, right? And that's true if you're coming from a normal size D3 gymnasium and you guys are in a much smaller space. What's it like adjusting to sight lines and big depth behind the baskets and stuff like that here?
In all honesty, it really feels the same. You in between the lines playing basketball, just like you would be outside playing basketball anywhere else.
Anybody else here for the team?
Coach, I know it's quick after the end of the season, but just some reflections on what you guys accomplished this year, 26 wins in a row, getting this far. At this early stage, how do you feel about the season?
Very, very proud. I couldn't be more proud of the guys. Couldn't be more proud of our coaching staff. For us moving into Division III, it's been like moving in uncharted territory every step of the way, right? Like you move into conference play, you move into our first national tournament. This is 4 in a row now, so we're just continuing to gain experience, get a feel for what the environment is like, what the opponents are going to be like. We've done the best we can to expose ourselves to as much as possible early in the year. But, when you get to this point in the season, there's really not anything you can do to prepare the specific groups for that. As we look backwards on this season, I think that everybody has something to be proud of. It's like I told the guys in the locker room, you have 2 choices. You can recognize that there's a big season that just happened, right? There was 31 games, or you can hang your hat on the 1 loss that you had at the end. Most people will focus on those last 40 minutes, but if you're smart, you'll recognize that you had a lot of accomplishments you should be very proud of.
All right. Thank you, coach and players. Great to see you. Thanks, Stacy.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.